Well, Kristi, thanks so much for taking time to sit down and answer a few questions about this BP class action settlement. So many business owners in Florida are wondering if they're eligible to file a claim, and they're hearing so many stories about this. So would you mind, just share if you would, tell us what is it that determines the eligibility for business owners in Florida in order to file a claim against BP?
Well, that's one of the things that is so unique about this particular class action settlement. Oftentimes when folks think of a class action settlement, they think of the class members getting very small recoveries while the attorneys get the bulk of the recovery. But that's not so here with the BP class action settlement. The eligible businesses under this deal it's a very broad criteria. And there's 3 basic criteria for qualifying. We're talking location, the type of business, and the third is the financial criteria.
So talk a little bit about this geography criteria. And what does that mean exactly? Is that the entire state of Florida? Is it just the coastal regions? Talk a little bit about that if you wouldn't mind.
Well, there's a huge geographical area that's covered by the settlement. In Florida, it is from the Panhandle, all of the counties that border the Gulf of Mexico. So it stretches from the Panhandle all the way down to the Keys. Other states are also covered by the settlement: Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and some counties in Texas are covered as well.
So for people that live in the coastal area of Florida, this actually extends quite a ways inland, is that correct?
Absolutely. And the businesses that are eligible, and this is something that we're so excited about, and it's so great for businesses in our community, the eligible businesses do not have to be tourism related or seafood related. The types of businesses eligible are very broad. It's almost any type of business can qualify. And likewise, in terms of the location within that Gulf Coast county, the business can be located hundreds of miles inland so long as it is located within the Gulf Coast county and still be eligible.
So the pressing question that a lot of business owners are going to have is, what do I need to show financially in order to determine my eligibility? Would you mind talking a little bit about those details?
Well, that's one of the things that we're really excited about with this settlement agreement. It's very simple to determine eligibility. If a business just simply reaches out to us, all we need is the business's gross monthly revenues from 2007 through 2011. We'll take that information and screen the claim free of charge and very quickly determine whether the business is eligible.
So I know what the first response some people hearing this is going to be is, oh my gosh, I don't know if I've got my finances all the way back to 2007. If they don't, are they out, or should they still reach out to you? Can you still help them?
We can still help them. Even if a business started very close in time to the oil spill, say in 2009 or even in 2010, they could still qualify as a startup business. And again, we'll screen the claim free of charge, but there is some complexity to the settlement agreement, and that's why involving a professional in terms of screening for eligibility is such a good idea.
So many people consider the idea of getting involved in a class action settlement as something that's very overwhelming. So what would you say to those people that are trying to weed themselves out of this process, so to speak?
I would say that they're probably leaving money on the table. And it would be a mistake not to at least explore whether your business is eligible, particularly because it's so easy to have a claim screened because it's free of charge. And in particular here, BP is already writing checks to people and paying these claims. And unlike a lot of the class actions you hear about where the class members receive very small recoveries and a lot of times the lawyers get the bulk of the recovery, this is a very different situation. It's a very unique situation. And businesses are recovering tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes even twice what their income loss was, because this class action settlement accounts for future loss of income. And the time expires for this class action settlement on April 22nd, 2014. Any claims filed after that date will not be paid. And the unique thing about this class action as well is that the court has set a cap on attorney fees, and attorneys can charge no more than 25% of the gross recovery.
Kristi, if people get in touch with you, they determine that they're eligible, how long does it typically take? I mean, most people, at least me, I think lawsuits take a long time. What are you experiencing from this process so far?
Well, again, that's one of the really rare and unique things about this class action. Right now, these claims are being paid very quickly. But there is a deadline involved here, and that deadline is April 22nd, 2014. As that deadline gets closer, the claim volume is going to increase, and the time frame for paying the claims is going to take longer and longer. So it's first in, first out. So it's best to call as soon as possible and get your claim screened for eligibility. It's free of charge, and we can get you started right away if you do qualify.
Talk a little bit about why this BP class action settlement is so unique in that people don't have to prove that their business suffered as a direct result of oil.
Well, believe it or not, BP, as part of this class action settlement, has taken any causation requirement out of the eligibility analysis. So indeed, businesses do not have to prove that oil was the cause of the loss. All they have to do is meet the financial criteria. Now, why is that? Is that okay? Is that right for businesses to make a claim if they can't prove oil was the cause? And BP thinks it is. The BP is okay with that because, and here's the reason why, perception is reality. Do you remember that pipe that they showed on television just spewing oil week after week after week? Well, BP has acknowledged that that type of media attention caused a trickle-down effect throughout the entire west coast of Florida economy. And so every business that is operating here in Florida at that time was affected. And that's what the company has acknowledged in the settlement, and that's why everyone has a potential claim. The scope of the BP class action settlement is staggering in terms of the types of eligible businesses. For example, realtors and real estate brokers, rental property owners, construction companies are making very large recoveries, medical professionals and healthcare facilities, veterinarians, churches and nonprofit groups are eligible. Automobile dealerships, agricultural businesses are oftentimes doing very well under the settlement, such as farms, and many, many other businesses like hotels, restaurants, salons, and so many more. Understand that even if you only had a small dip in revenue, the settlement also compensates for a reduction in growth of your business. For example, one business we helped had only a $30,000 dip in revenues, but the claim exceeded $600,000. So whether you believe your business was affected by the oil spill or not, you should screen your claim for eligibility before it's too late. Call us now to find out how much compensation BP could be offering you.